What?
The car going by, and you were like, it's like
Oh, I wasn't starting because the car going by.
I know, but that was funny to me, like, the look on your face
Oh,
and the car going
as the
by.
car go just
Yeah.
in coincidence?
Oh, you didn't make that face because the car went by?
No,
Oh, I thought you made
I didn't give a shit about the car.
okay, I thought the car went by, you were frustrated because you didn't wanna start with on that sound. So that's why I giggled
Oh,
because I was
like,
like, "Oh, what a coincidence."
these things wouldn't pick up that car.
That okay, that's fair.
No, yeah. Ah, another one. 8. Yeah?
The big 2, wait, no, 2, wait, 3.
That was the last one.
I know. I'm goofing.
Alright.
New book goofing.
Yeah. So how was your day today? Let's start it with that, huh?
I had a pretty good day. Recently I've kind of been on like an emotional roller coaster. Which I already explained to you, I feel like stemmed from the conversation we had with my father and just small things are piling up and I feel like I'm like suffocating. Um and I've been kind of like suppressing them because I have no real explanation for the things I'm feeling. I'm just feeling them. And I feel like if I can't rationally explain the way I'm feeling, I don't deserve to feel that way. And I also feel like if I try to explain why I feel the way I feel, somebody else is going to try to explain away why I feel the way I feel. And I just want to feel my feelings. I don't want my feelings to be explained or rationalized. I just want to be able to sit and stew in my emotions and get over them. So I've been suppressing them.
That's usually what I do, and I want to do.
Well,
'Cause
our feelings come out very differently though. Yours comes out in anger and mine comes out in sadness. Always has.
well, mine don't come out in anger. They
Yours usually comes out in anger, babe.
uh, that's what you see.
Yeah, it comes out. It visualizes itself as anger. Mine visualizes itself in sadness. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Why'd you tell me no?
because it's not just anger. Because 'Cause you're only seeing the anger part. Because that's when I
And I'm
can't that's when I can't hold in all
right,
everything
but
anymore.
that's what I'm saying.
Because I very unhealthily, uh, just hold everything in all the time
Right.
until it overflows.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like our feelings present themselves as certain feelings, and then you told me no, that's only what you see, and I'm like, yes, that's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, shut up, woman. Woman derogatory.
I didn't say any of that, for the record.
That's my Discord name in
Yeah,
your Discord because I thought it would be funny.
yeah,
It is funny to me.
yeah, see? Because you have a humor, and then, you know,
You have a humor.
yeah. Uh, yeah, so this one, yeah, we do finally have the coffee. Finally have the coffee again, and,
We're not tired. It's not 11 o'clock at night. Our child is at my mom's house, so we have the house to ourselves and we can be as loud as we want, and I don't have to worry about whispering.
yeah, there we go. And it's perfect. It's perfect because, the last couple days, while I'm at work, it's as I'm doing my job, all I do is think as well, and it just every day, it's the same thing, and sometimes eventually the same problem, the same burden that's in my head, uh, it comes in waves. It makes me frustrated again. Some days it's just like, we'll figure something out.
Right.
It's we'll figure something out. But then some days I'm like, this is hopeless. It's
Mhm.
hopeless. And what I'm talking about is because I'm for backstory on this, or for just some context. So yesterday, I was cleaning out the mower deck because it was all gummed up with grass and stuff. So I picked it up. I picked up the front end because it's a zero turn, so you can just like kind of like deadlift the front end up, and then I kick uh, a jack stand under the deck, and it holds it up, and I can kind of crawl under it. I can like lay on my back and just sit there and scrape all the grass off. And my dad walks up to me and said, "Hey, you know that house on this road, that's right on this road that intersects this road?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I know exactly what house you're talking about because it's just like a nice little small house on like a 1 acre lot,
Yeah.
and it's a 1 story house. 1 story house. It doesn't have a lot of dimension. It's just 1 story house. It's just long, and then just bonked while I put long. I just bonked my pop filter.
Bong.
And, on the left side, it's just got 1 car garage, a little driveway, and then possibly a furnished basement. I'm not sure. Or yeah, furnished, finished,
Finished.
whatever,
Furnished would mean it has furniture in it
whatever,
already when you purchase it.
whatever. And doesn't matter. I guarantee you, finished or furnished, it wouldn't change the fucking price of it.
The furniture does change the price because you're buying the furniture with the house. So it's going to be more
Well,
expensive if you buy something
depends
furnished.
if it's just display or not. But um,
Well, if it's just a display, then you're not buying it furnished. It's just a display.
okay. Know what I'm picturing? I'm picturing a because finished to me is there is no dirt, and
Yes,
it's just concrete.
that's
Concrete
what
walls,
finished is.
concrete floor. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's what a
Okay.
finished basement
Okay.
is.
Because I have no, uh, reference to that because
An unfinished basement is they call it a Michigan basement where it's just dirt. Like your basement is a Michigan basement.
yeah, it rocks.
Yeah, rocks, dirt.
Concrete, and big boulders that are, like, 2 feet thick,
Yeah,
and it's just pretty much like, there is some resemblance of concrete on the floor, but it is dirt.
it's dirt.
It's kinda dirt,
It's gross.
and then there's the root cellar. Because the basement is just a one big square, and it's separated by kind of like an L
Yeah.
with, like, as a room, but if you got rid of that wall, it would just be one big square,
You're
and
talking about our basement?
yes,
Okay.
and where the root cellar is, where the sub pump is, that's the scary part of the basement, because this basement, it looks like it's from the age of the
It
house.
looks like it's haunted. That
Well,
basement looks like the ghosts reside in it.
probably does, um, but, that side is mud, and
Yeah,
when there's moisture down there, it's mud, and
right.
it's yeah, that's actually dirt, but, it'd be cool if there was like the floor could be redone, but whatever. It's not we don't use that
Right.
basement.
Going back to the other house.
But going back to the other house, that's like it's just a little house.
Yeah,
And it's hard to describe. I don't know the actual style of the house because every house has a style. That's
right.
what it's called. And but this little house, it doesn't have as much. It wouldn't have It wouldn't have as much square
It's
footage as
got like
this
a
house.
normal sized yard. It's not like
No, I'm
super.
talking about the house, the square foot
Oh,
house.
okay.
Um, what? A
It's
1,000
gotta be
maybe?
smaller than this house, yeah.
Well, no, I guarantee it's because it doesn't have a second floor.
Right.
Because you consider the second floor as more square footage.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, I think. I
fuck if
don't
I
fucking
know.
know.
I'm not
I
buying a
don't
house
know.
right now.
Nobody fucking taught me,
Yeah,
when I was in school to learn
right.
about fucking life.
And
Nobody
then
taught
our
me.
parents were too busy teaching us other
Yeah.
things, so
I have never been taught what a mortgage is. I'm still kind of like half clueless. I've never looked it up.
yeah,
Because I'm not in the market. I don't know.
yeah,
And because I'm not in the market right now because I'm getting to it. But, like, this is one thing. We'll get back to that. We'll get back
yeah.
to that of, like
Back to the house.
okay. We'll get back to why the fuck we're not taught the things that you're supposed to know, but okay, whatever. But this house is you'd look at it and go, "Oh, okay, the size of the property and the house size,
Mhm.
and it's not a big house, it's just a little house." And it's like, "Oh, that can't be too expensive, right?
Yeah,
Right?"
right.
So my grandma is in real estate, and so she told my dad like, "Oh, yeah, that house sold because it was on the market. I don't know how long it's
It
on the market,
wasn't on
but
the market for very long.
well, that you know of. It could like
Yeah,
they could have just put the sign out not recently, but it could have been on like sites for a while.
yeah,
But so the sign's been out for like a month, but that house, that little house, what would you think? I'd think my very little knowledge to like the low 200s
yeah.
maybe
That's what I remember
or
that's what I said.
high 100s,
Right.
because it's a small house
Between,
on
like
an acre lot.
I would imagine it between, like,
That
190 and 210.
yeah,
That would be
yeah,
my range for that
right.
house.
Yeah, that's because it looks like it has a good roof.
Right.
There's no damage. It doesn't look like there's any
Well,
external
and it's not
damage,
like it's
and
by the water
it's not by
or
the water.
anything. It's just, like, out in
It's
the
on a
middle of
hill,
nowhere. Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
and so, yeah, high 100s, low 200s. This house sold for $300,000.
yeah,
Like, and after my dad told me that, he just says, I was like, "Are you serious? Really? Who the hell bought the house for $300,000?
yeah.
There's not like
Especially in our
in our
area.
area. What? You know how much a house right next to us was?
No.
Same price.
She really sold that house for that much?
That's what the
That's a
market
tiny
is.
but that's a tiny ass house.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I
I
don't,
don't get it.
and it's like so after, and he just my dad just goes walks away and goes, God, it's hopeless
Yeah,
because it is hopeless, and this is why I'm frustrated is because my since I was little, and I don't know, you could say this is whatever it is, if it's just, it feels like I've been lied to my whole life. Because
yeah,
my you
because
know
we
what
have been.
no, because you know what my dream is just to have not a big house. I don't want a mansion. I don't want a big house.
Yeah.
This where we're at right now is the biggest I'd want it.
Yeah,
Is the
me too.
biggest.
Yeah,
And if anything smaller. Doesn't because the smaller is just less you gotta worry about, less that might need to be worked on. If all of a sudden all the wires need to be replaced in the house or all the
yeah,
pipes. Now you gotta replace all the fucking pipes in a two-story house.
yeah,
That's a lot. That's a fucking lot. But, you know, in this house, like I love this house, but it's technically got like three roofs.
yeah,
And that's three roofs. And shingles go bad after a certain amount of they have an expiration date.
yeah.
But like my dream was just to have like the best you could describe it was like anytime like in a movie because I this was like from my childhood from what I saw what I observed your classic 50s.
American dream. The
Yes,
classic American dream.
like 50s
Yep. That's not
a
attainable anymore.
car, and like I'm not saying stay home and there better be a martini when I get home. I'm not talking that. I'm not talking. I'm just saying, you know, my
You go
wife.
to lobotomy and take care of the kids, bitch.
No, but like, because my wife, she is happy with staying home with our daughter, and and I didn't tell her to do that. I didn't
No.
tell her. If anything, we almost did the opposite. Didn't we cover that in the other one?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
We talked about that last
we almost
episode.
did the opposite, which I still wouldn't care. I wouldn't give a shit. It's what we had to do. I don't care. But, you have a car. You have a family. You have a little you have a medium-sized it's just a little house, little
Yeah.
to medium-sized house. And guy works, goes off to work, goes work, comes back home. "Hi, wife. Hi, son or daughter.
Yeah.
How was your day today?" And then we go and eat dinner together as a family, spend the rest of the night as a family, and then do the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's not possible anymore
Mm-mm.
at all. And it feels like I was lied to, you know?
Yeah. We
And
kind of were lied to.
because like I went through the same problem, like the same frustration when we were doing a little bit better. We were in our apartment, so we were on our own.
Yeah.
And okay, let me just make it clear. We moved back in with my childhood home because it's a big house. It's not a big house, but it's like
It's a decent sized
it's a
home.
it's a two-story with a basement and farmhouse. And it's it could because my when my mother passed away, my dad was struggling pretty bad because his job requires him to go out of town a lot because he installs
Out of
what we
state
out,
sometimes.
out of state mostly
Yeah.
and for like 2 weeks. And that because that's what he is. That's his
Yeah.
title. That's his title
Yeah.
of the job. He's an installation specialist.
Yeah.
So he goes out, he installs all over the country of what we make. And so, and he has a dog,
Right.
my childhood dog. We could say the name of our dog. His name's Toby. He's a golden
Yeah. Who the hell's
retriever.
gonna dox a dog.
Right. He's a Toby, he's a little golden retriever, and he's, like, 11 years old,
Mhm.
and
Almost.
almost 11 years old, and, so every time he had to go out of town, somebody had to watch Toby,
It
and
ended up just being more of a hassle than anything.
yeah, exactly, and so we shot this idea to him, because, "Hey, what if we came back? We could
Yeah.
watch over the house. You can still continue to to go, like, do your job, like,
Mm,
that, can't stop,
right.
because they're kind of fighting him on that because he's trying to, like, not haggle, but, like, just negotiate some kind of, like, just so he's home more,
A steadier
because
schedule, yeah.
his I'll eventually have him on here and we'll talk about it, but,
Yeah.
his way of therapy is having a garden
Yeah.
and tending to the garden, growing things and
Right.
growing
It's
food.
taking care of his home is
Yeah,
his
that's his
therapy.
therapy, and he hasn't been able to do that for a couple years, and it's kinda driving him crazy,
Yeah.
and so he's finally able to do it this year. He has his garden back.
I
It
can tell that
started.
he feels
He
better.
feels better, and, and so and his point of view, because when my sister had her first kid, it was on worse circumstances.
I would like to clarify that we brought up moving back in with him before we knew we were pregnant.
Did we?
Yeah. We brought it up to him the day after your mom died because we were worried about it. Yeah,
N
we did because we all
no,
came
I wouldn't
over.
have done that. Not that early.
Oh, well, it was before we found out we were pregnant
I
regardless.
offered that. I brought up that idea once I noticed or saw, that he after he went back to work, because he wasn't to work
Right.
yet, and so there was no reason, there was no struggle.
Yeah.
The struggle right now is because we just lost the glue to our entire family,
Right.
but this I brought it up once it became a issue, once it really became a
Right.
problem,
But
because my grandpa, he was watching, because he lives only, like, a mile away, and he was watching Toby sometimes, and but he's in his 80s, and, one night he had to get up, and Toby was laying in the doorway, and he didn't, because he likes to be by people when he's
yeah,
sleeping. He didn't see him, and he tripped on him, and he
right.
fell.
He slipped on the ice in front of the door
He and
trying to get in.
yeah, to take care of Toby,
Yeah.
and that's why I was like, "You won't have to worry about people coming over to take
Yeah,
care of him
because 'cause we'll
every
always be
day,
here.
or having Toby stay with somebody and, feeling like you're burdening them."
Right.
So you won't even you won't have to think about it, because there's gonna be people always here, and guess what? And the one thing he struggled with a lot was, um, because he told me the thing that really hurt is he would be gone for, like, 2 weeks, and he would come back, and the house would be exactly the same
Yeah.
as when he came back, and it never was like that.
Right.
It was always like there was always, like, music, or there was something on the TV was on, because
Yeah.
my mom was still home,
Right.
and she was watching she was cleaning, she was doing something, she had music playing,
Your mom was always doing
she
something.
was
She was
always
always up to
she
something.
was always doing something, and that was the biggest hit for him, is coming back,
Right.
and it's exactly the same. That thing that he left there on the table, that whatever it was, maybe a drill, I don't know, a screwdriver, I don't know. That
Yeah.
thing that was sitting on the table in the kitchen, it's been sitting there for 2 weeks, he comes back, it's still sitting there because nobody's been in the house,
Right.
and that was the thing that I was like, he considered that as well, and because, like, we would be able to, and that's kinda what we're doing. He doesn't have to think about groceries.
Oh,
We're co
yeah, we take care of
we
groceries.
take care of groceries. Mary cooks, and, we cover the internet, so he's got full
Yeah.
free range, he doesn't have to worry about internet at all, and, um, it's just easier, and he also, because he helped my sister when she had her first kid on worse circumstances, and he only
Right.
figured it'd be fair to help us, and
Because I remember
or to give us, like, a
we
boost, because that's what essentially what he did. I'm sorry, essentially what he did to my sister. He helped her get her a boost out, you
yeah.
know, and that's what we're doing here. But I'd say the fucking market, everything, the worth of a dollar is worse now.
Right.
Just in that short period of time, it's worse
Yeah.
now.
I remember because the reason why I brought up that, like, we suggested moving back in with him before we found out we were pregnant was because we suggested it to him, and then we kind of, like, didn't talk about it for a little while, and then we found out we were pregnant, and then we hadn't told anybody for a little bit, but we were coming over to have a conversation with your dad about, like, moving in and everything, and just to have to talk about it, and I remember the first thing we said to him was like, We just want to let you know before we get too far into this conversation that we just found out that we will be having a baby because we didn't want, to spring that on him later on.
Because I know this was later because that was we didn't say a word of that until after the memorial.
Yeah.
So that's we didn't say a word of that, you know?
What, about the baby?
Yeah,
Yeah. We
and
told your friends. We told friends, but we
right,
didn't
right,
tell family.
right, I know. Yeah, because it wasn't it there was something that was there didn't need to be that added
Right.
during that, like, that s
Well, and I also didn't
that
wanna take away
that
time from your
time of sp
mom. Yeah.
right, well, there didn't that didn't need to be between
Yeah.
the passing of my mom and the memorial. It didn't
Right.
need to be there. Nobody needed to think about that.
Right.
My sister knew because she knew the day of, but,
Yeah,
um
my mom did too.
right, and, um,
But
but
anyways, we are so off track of what we
it's
were talking
I was
about.
kinda giving context why we're
Yeah.
here, and, you know and also this house, it's when I was little, this house was nice and white. I guess it used to be yellow, but it was sun bleached, and it was in white, but it was
Yeah.
covered in, like, there's paint all over it.
Yeah. And
Right now,
you said it had shutters.
they had shutters, had red shutters,
Yeah.
and the shutters are gone, but you can still see where the shutters were.
Mhm.
House needs to be cleaned, but it's desperately for years needed to be painted.
Mhm.
And my mom begged all the time for it to get painted. But now we're here. It's gonna get painted
Mhm.
because the garage roof needs to be finished. But once we finish that, because the garage roof is a flat roof, so it's draining improperly. It's not supposed to drain off the sides. It's
Right.
supposed to drain. The roof is supposed to all like angle in to an actual drain in the roof, and
Yeah.
a tube that goes down, and it just drains out. So there's no dripping off the sides because when you have dripping off the sides, it splashes and goes right up
Yeah.
into the siding, and then the siding rots.
Right.
That's why you got that mold growth all over.
Right,
Like
that you have to
it's not mold.
spray off every year.
It's like a mildew. Not
Yeah.
really. I don't know what the fuck it's called. It's just like a it's just
It's like a growth.
it's like it almost looks like a moss.
Yeah.
Um, we clean it every once in a while to get the bleach water and stuff. Um, but that's the thing. We're not while we're here. This house is gonna get painted. We were redoing rooms. We already repainted one room.
Yeah.
We're gonna repaint another room. The hallway is desperately needed to be repainted and redone because when I was little, I beat the shit out of the top of the stairs with those solid, hard, like bouncy balls.
Right, well, and then Woody Ball didn't help either.
Yeah, and
I miss Woody Ball.
yeah, my nephew when he was like 4, he was loved Woody and Buzz, but we got into a thing. He had like just a junky one, and we would play Woody ball. I'd kind of tie up his arms and legs into like a ball,
Poor
and
Woody.
then we would just throw him up the stairs. and
That's
and
how you messed up Woody's eyebrows.
I always, but on the ceiling there's a bunch of brown like spots because that's
Mm,
where his hat hit.
yeah.
But but yeah, so that's while we're here, we're saving up money so we can eventually get a house and like
Yeah,
find a house, get approved for it. Because guess what, we both got good credit because we both make payments on time.
right.
But now it doesn't
And
even
we don't
matter.
have a credit card. We
I
don't
don't
have a
have a
credit
credit.
card that we can,
Yeah, we don't have any debt. The
improperly
only debt we
use.
have is the car. Is a
Yeah.
2014 Ford Escape.
Because all my medical
You know
stuff is
what's
paid off now.
sad though. You know what's sad?
Hmm.
To me, that 2014 Ford Escape that's almost 10 years old is a new car to me. That is a new
Yeah,
car.
that's how you know you grew up poor.
Well, I'm
Because
like,
it's a new car to me too.
yeah, and it's like I can't I have a good job.
Yeah.
It's very stable. I'm not at risk of losing my job.
Right.
My job's not at risk of laying people off,
Mhm.
and I get paid above minimum. But there is no possible way if we were able to save up for a house that we'd be able to afford one.
Right. At
Just
least not with me working. Or not
not with you not working.
yeah, without me working.
And then but if you are working, all that extra money, that just goes into wherever we're sending our daughter. So guess what? Again, what I brought up last time, guess what's suffering?
Our family time.
Our daughter's being raised by somebody else.
Yeah. Which I would rather her be raised by us than a stranger and
And
12
that's
kids.
the most frustrating thing to me is it feels like the only possible way for us to get a house, for us to, we're married, we have a child, to actually have a home that
Yeah.
we're not sharing, and I don't feel like a loser and a freeloader, even though I work and I do a bunch of I'm not I don't lay around. I try to be a present father,
Yeah.
but without just staying with my daughter all the time because then nothing's getting done. So I still got to do stuff,
Right.
but why does it feel like the only option is for us to have to send our daughter off to something somewhere
Yeah.
and
When
just
it's like and it would be different if we had a family member that could watch her,
yeah,
you know?
and it's just the thing. It's like, and unless you or your partner has a pretty good job, is like a pretty good, very good, above $20 an hour,
Yeah.
then maybe, yeah. Like, and yeah, I could do what my dad does. I could open myself to that. But guess what? Now I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone a lot because that would require me to be gone a lot.
Mhm.
I'd be gone a lot. And yeah. So yeah, I'd have money. I'd have more money. But
Sorry.
what? I'd have money.
The sound you made, "Ooh ah, ooh ah." It really caught me off guard. It reminded me sorry, not to sidetrack us, just let me say this one thing. It reminded me of that Vine where she goes, "I spilled lipstick in your Valentino white bag," and she goes, "What? You spilled lipstick in my Valentino white bag?" You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, just insert laugh track.
I just want
No,
you to acknowledge that I'm funny.
I never
Ju
saw that Vine.
just tell me that I'm funny and I'm pretty, and we'll leave it at
You're
that.
funny and you're pretty and I
Thank you.
love you.
Okay, continue with what you're saying. You're funny and you're pretty, I love you. You're f you're
You're fugly and stupid. You suck and stink.
I was gonna say
I'm just making a goof.
I was gonna say I love you, but come on, but I almost said you're funny, but come on.
I was starting to get so
Both.
frustrated. I'm sitting here like fucking with this like little pin on this chair. I have almost pulled this
Don't
thing
break
out.
that
I'm not
chair.
breaking it. Guess what? You know how
The
easy
legs
it
are
is?
already fucked up.
Again,
Am I on the broken one or are you on the broken one?
you're on the broken one.
Fuck.
It's just missing the center.
It's yeah, it's not like broken
It
broken.
just, I could make another one and just
Yeah.
would glue it into there.
She's not broken, she's just loved.
Yeah. Um. So while everybody's freaked out about the market potentially, or it's gonna like the bubble's gonna burst. The housing market bubble is gonna burst
Yeah.
like it did 2008,
Right.
and that shit's gonna happen. Everybody's afraid, but I'm over here like, doesn't that mean the houses will get cheaper? Uh,
It's, people that are selling are afraid of it because the houses get
Guess
cheaper.
what? I guarantee you got like three other houses because that's what you do. I don't have any house. I have no real estate. I
I don't
have
have any
I have a
house.
vehicle. I have a 1964 F-110, a 2004 F-250 that is falling apart,
What
and then
is up with us and fours? A 64, 2004, a 14.
whatever, I don't, and
What is
then a
up with
Ford
that?
Escape, and a 2014 Ford Escape,
Mhm.
and I got my 91 Honda, my 91 Honda CB750,
Yeah.
which there was a deal I had with when I was when we were at our apartment. I helped a guy. That was a guy's bike, and you know,
It was?
yeah, and
You helped a guy and that was his bike?
yeah,
Oh, huh.
yeah,
I thought
it,
you just found it.
no,
Oh.
and instead of him paying me because he never rode it anymore, it was instead, oh, I'll sell it to you,
Oh.
and yeah, but
So I don't remember how you got that. I just remember you texted me and you were like, "Can I have this bike?" And I was like, "I don't give a shit." Because we were planning our wedding. But
yeah,
I think that's around the time we were thinking about instead of doing like a wedding, we were thinking about traveling to Utah. We were changing our plans for the
yeah.
first time. And um
Oh yeah, and this is back when like gas was like $1.80.
yeah, so
So there was no struggling.
you saw that and you were like, "I wanna get this before we become parents and move on with our lives. That way I can,
Because once
have
I
a moment
because
of being fun or having fun," you know?
well, because once I have it, I have it,
Right.
you know? That's
Mhm.
it. But once, you know, life becomes a lot more expensive. Now you can't get it.
Yeah, that's kinda why I got my drum set.
And yeah, and she yeah, that's and Mary got her drum set. Yeah. Okay, this one already sucked. So what happened was we were so into what we were talking about, we didn't even notice we hit 30 minutes on what we were recording. And I just happened to turn and look at the screen, and it said our most recent clip was processing. And I was like, how long was it not going for? So we had to we had to edit it a little quick, and just so we know where we stopped, and it was right when Mary said her drum set about or talked about how that's why she has her drum set.
I just bought my drum set.
Yeah. And so
It
but because we had to edit it, so now I lost my train of thought. Oh, why don't you just re-listen to it again? You know what? I listened to it so many times, I don't even remember what it was now.
he just forgot where he was going with it.
Yeah, I forgot what where my next thing I
The
was gonna
next
talk.
train stop.
Yeah,
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 the station.
this train of like this corkscrew fucking train of
Conductor,
train of
take
thought.
me to
That's what it
Rhodes.
always is. But I'm gonna go back to what we were originally talking about because we were talking about like when things were easier. Here's a little bit when we were
Yeah.
and we were able to do you were able to get a drum set and stuff, and brush off all the rust on your drumming, and because Mary's actually a really good drummer.
I'm decent.
You're better than me. You're better than anybody knows. You're a good drummer to me.
That's fair.
You're
I'll take
better than
that.
me at playing guitar. So guess what? It makes you a good guitar player.
I also taught you how to play guitar.
You helped me improve my guitar skill. You didn't teach me how to play guitar.
You asked me to teach you how to play.
I know how to play tabs. You know how to play chords.
Yeah, you're lead and I'm rhythm,
Yeah. But yeah,
which is fitting since I play drums.
that's just another one of my too many hobbies. But
It's the ADHD, babes.
ADHD in babes,
No, it's the ADHD, babes.
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 There's two here,
You're babes.
babes. Walking, babses, shopping. Don't.
Walking, dancing, rearranging furniture. Babs is shopping. Let the bird out of its cage.
You kept saying babes, and I don't like to think of that.
It's Babs.
I know.
Babes.
I know. I know.
Walking, dancing. Ow. Why'd you bring it up if you didn't want me to sing it?
You already sung it.
You know that's who I do.
You don't
You're
do
who.
that. You do Carter?
No.
No.
I was gonna
I
say
am I
I
object to
say
that.
I say that's who I do.
I
But
I
I
I
was
I
gonna
plead the
say
fifth.
I was gonna say something funny in turn. I was like, I can't say that on the podcast.
I plead the fifth.
I do plead the fifth. Your Honor. Your
Yep.
Honor, I plead whoopsie daisies.
My wife fucks an animation character.
Out of all the animation characters to fuck, why would I choose Lois's father? Come on now.
What?
Peter. God. No, if I'm choosing an animated character to fuck,
Don't.
it's Jim in Treasure Planet, the
Oh,
kid. I
the
like
kid?
No, he's not a kid. He's like 18.
Uh,
No.
Peter warning.
Okay, but
Predator, predator.
okay, who do you want me to say? If you could choose any any animated character
This is
for
an
your
uncomfy
wife
topic.
to fuck,
This is
who
an
would you
uncomfy topic. I don't like this one.
choose?
I'll animate myself. You
If
fuckface.
you were animated, I would still fuck you.
I still don't like that because
It's hypothetical. It's not real. It's never gonna happen.
it's like real you. This whole premise is real you with an animated
Would this
character.
animated character just be you, but you are animated, or would it be a different person that looks like you?
We're not talking about this anymore. This is a terrible topic. I
You're
don't
the
like
one that
this.
started
I
this.
did not.
You're the one that said I fucked Carter.
You no,
Yes.
because you said I do Carter.
No, I said that's who I do. Meaning, no, I'm talking about talk. I was trying to be funny because I was singing
That's who
and
I
I wanted
do.
to say that's what I do, but I already said who, so I was like, I'm continuing on with this. And then you said I fuck Carter.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you
I didn't say it
did.
that vulgar
Yes,
way.
you did.
Uh-uh.
We'll listen back and you'll see that I was
I have a
correct.
terrible short-term memory,
He
so,
does.
you know,
It always seems like I'm gaslighting him,
it
and I'm
always
not.
feels like you're
I'm not
gaslighting me.
gaslighting
Like,
you, I
every time
swear.
we do bath time, and our process is uh whoever bathes her, uh, like,
I'm gonna see if you get this right.
stop. Whoever bathes her, the other person
Yeah.
that didn't dries her and
Gets her in her jammies.
gets her in her jammies. But sometimes it feels like it's
It's the other way around.
whoever I don't remember. It's always a moment thing. But I'm like, I swear, like last week, this is how it worked. And you're like, no, it's always been like this. I'm like, I don't
I
know. I
don't
don't.
say it that aggressively. God, you make me sound like a bitch. I am a bitch, but not come on.
All I had to do was breathe.
I okay, admittedly I am a bitch. Because I don't filter my tone very well. I come off more aggressive than I mean to.
And that's why I said it's always been like this.
I don't say it like that though.
Say that to me
I
once
say
like
it's
that.
always been like this. Yeah, because it had been like the 20th time. Bitches get frustrated.
Bitches doesn't have a good memory.
It's
Give me
Dylan.
some slack
It's
here.
Dylan. He's bitches.
Jesus. Oh, this guy doesn't. Oh, I'm starting to see signs he doesn't have doesn't have a good short term memory. Maybe it's because his coffee addiction. Maybe it's because he doesn't get good sleep. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's because he doesn't eat. But give bitches some slack. I can't remember shit.
I give bitches so much slack. You talk about giving bitches slack. I'll slack bitches.
I give bitches so much slack.
I do. It's you. You're bitches.
You give me a bunch of slack.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that how we're ending this conversation? That was so bland. Give it some flavor.
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 All right,
Like the
we'll do it bro style. You give bitches slack. Yeah, fist bump. Uh, uh, uh.
I'm glad you're the only man I've ever slept with. Because I've never experienced that in my life.
What? What?
Is that how men actually talk to each other?
No.
You give bitches slack. Fist bump. Fist bump. You fuck somebody.
Here's one thing in my friend group we always say to each other. You fuck funny.
Homosexual.
Your Webby's homosexual.
Jesus.
Literally quoted him. We've quoted him before, and he says, I only sleep with the homies."
I'm homosexual. I almost only sleep with the homies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
That
quoted
was
him
the
with
whole
that.
sentence.
No, it sucks. I was so ready for this episode to be me just being frustrated and talking
We
about
got
how
the frustrated out, I feel.
I didn't.
Do you wanna keep talking about the frustrated? We
We can't
can.
go from being funny and goofy just kill somebody.
You
I'm
sound
stuck
like
in a
you're
hole. That's
aggressively eating something and throwing up at the same time.
what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
Okay.
It feels like I don't have any legs.
Like a snake?
No! Did I say what? Oh, I did last time I saw a snake, it had arms, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't even
It just
thinking
it
about
was just a
arms.
it was just a nugget human that didn't have arms and legs.
Okay, so what has arms but no legs?
What has no arms and no legs?
A snake.
A nugget.
feel like that's offensive. The sound you made. You were so uncomfortable.
That sound was probably is. It probably is to a nugget or
The
somebody
look
that
on
knows a
your
nugget.
face.
I'm sorry.
Shut up right now.
I'm sorry if you know a nugget.
Oh my god. That reminds me of the John Mulaney skit where he worked for SNL. You know what I'm talking about? And he's talking about them writing a skit,
You
and he was
can't
like,
say
"You
it.
can't say the word
Don't say it.
midget." And there he's like, it's like the equivalent to the N word, and they're like he's like, "No, it's not. You know how I know? Because we're saying one word and
Well,
we're not saying the other word."
no, because you know why? I know because we can say midget. We
Yeah.
can't say the other word.
Yeah.
You got to do it in like proper Mulaney, impression.
He came out with a new skit.
Yeah,
Yeah. A piece of me wants to watch it, the other piece is like, "I
it's
can't."
sad because you were really obsessed with him.
Not obsessed, but I
You were
just enjoyed his
obsessed.
content.
You were a very fond enjoyer of his
I would say I'm not obsessed with John Mulaney as I am with Bo Burnham.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, a piece of me wants to watch it, the other piece is like, I can't bring myself to, which is really disheartening for me. And I feel like that's going that way for a lot of the things I enjoy now.
yeah. You know what I always think of? I think of that one line or that one scene in Parks and Recreations when I always forget his name, but it's
Andy?
Andy. He played Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
He's just like, somebody asks him what's wrong or something like that. I can't, and he's just like staring at a window or something. He's like, uh, none of my old hobbies. I don't enjoy any of my old hobbies. I'm always tired. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, so I don't remember, but I always feel that.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's depression.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like stuff like that. That always comes in swings for me.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Oh, I need to start taking my vitamins again. I meant to take them this morning and I didn't.
You're off your pills.
Being outside more has helped
She
though.
hasn't taken her pills.
I'm old and senile and I don't remember my family.
Does that mean when I said pills? Does that what I meant?
That's not what you meant, but that's where my mind went.
My mind was going your pills when you're not too there mentally or it's not stable.
I'm old and
I don't
senile
remember what medication that's called, but
for like a well, it depends on what disorder you're going for. Anxiety, depression.
it's for the one that
Uh
keeps you on the wagon.
there's a lot of those though. That's what I'm trying to tell
The
you.
most stereotypical one.
But is it for depression?
No,
What's it for?
schizophrenia.
I don't fucking know what medication they use for
Okay,
schizophrenics.
now we both don't know.
Okay.
Shake hands on it. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
That
Uh,
was aggressive. You got quite the
Did you
handshake
say
on you, sir.
aggressive or aggressive?
Aggressive.
There was an. I
V-
swear there was an F in there.
v-
Aggressive.
v- That's
Isn't
a better sound for a zipper than a Z is.
with a V?
Yeah. Should call it a vipper.
I don't think it's gonna catch on.
I'll try.
I think no.
Everybody start calling a zipper a
I remember
vipper
when
and
in
see
high
where it
school
takes you.
everybody was like, you know what that's called? The part in your zipper? It's called a tallywhacker. Is that actually called a
Is
tallywhacker?
it?
Is it? Is it?
I never heard that, but I know everyone was like, "Do you know what this is called? An aglet. I learned that from Phineas." Where the fuck is my aglet? I don't have an aglet. Help!
I've lost my
I've
aglet.
lost my aglet. I don't have one.
Is it the
I
little?
swear I had one this
It's
morning.
it's it's the little thing
It's
at the
the
end of the
hard
string,
piece at the end of your string. They
or
have
like
them
a
on
shoestring.
shoelaces. Where the hell is my
That one. It doesn't have strings.
Has it ever had strings? Now
Yeah,
I feel like a rapper.
yeah. Candy wrapper. Nope, you zipped it up all the way. Now you're a candy wrapper. Stupid.
What kind of candy do you think I'd be? Based on my personality.
Based on your personality, what kind of candy would you be?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's just like a
take a
it's
Snickers.
like a quotive quiz.
Take a Snickers and put uh
Oh,
the
you're making a whole new candy.
yeah take a Snickers and put what's that like sour rope?
Like a sour patch rope?
Yeah, Put that in the Snickers.
That's me?
Yes.
For why? Because I'm sweet on the outside and a bitch on the inside? Is that your reasoning?
I haven't said a word.
Yeah, I know. That's okay, that's what I took away from that. That was my deductive reasoning.
This is how you call it your wife. You call her an
A Snickers with a Sour Patch Rope on the
y
inside.
yeah, you call her a candy that's not real, you make it up. You didn't hear that from me.
God, you would be like a payday.
I love paydays.
I love me a good payday.
Am I like a
I
payday?
also love those what are the one a Take 5. Take 5s are really good. Have you ever had one of those?
No.
It's, like those turtle it's a pretzel with caramel and chocolate. It's literally like a turtle, but it's a whole ass candy bar.
You know what I always loved? A
Hmm.
bit of honey.
What?
Bit o' honey.
I've never heard of that in
It's
my
just like it's
life.
almost like the size of like a Tootsie Roll,
Mhm.
but it's just is it? But it's like honey.
Hmm.
It's honey.
Have you
It's
ever had those honey sticks?
I have. I love those.
I know I have, I don't remember what they taste like. Honey, idiot.
Those honey sticks, I don't remember what they taste like though. Oh,
Did you
it's like
ever eat pixie sticks as a kid?
yeah.
Those were a gateway candy to drugs.
Know what the gateway candy to drugs is?
Smarties?
Smarties, and everybody would smash them up and snort them.
Oh, I just pretended I was taking medication
Nope,
when I was eating Smarties.
nope.
I'd be like, "Oh, gotta take my pills for the day,"
Anytime
and I'd pop 3
so
Smarties in my mouth.
there was some Smarties in like a class or something like that. They'd pass, so there'd be somebody in the corner of the fucking classroom, and they'd just smash up all the Smarties, and then just kind of put them in a line and literally snort them. They would literally snort them.
The more you tell me about your graduating class, the more they scare me.
Yeah.
But I was so out of touch with my graduating class, I can't even tell you what kind of people they used to be, and I really can't tell you who they are now because I don't give a shit. If you're listening to this and you were in my graduating class, I'm sorry you had to find out that way, but, like, don't reach out to me. The select few I care about, you know who you are.
Yeah.
Everybody else,
Yeah. I know there's a little part of me that I'm like, you know, I kind of hope, you know, somebody from my graduating class finds out I have like a podcast. I'm like, wow,
yeah,
that guy never talked. I
yeah.
wonder what he thinks about. To find I'm fucking insane.
Well, and it's like and I wish you well. I wish you all the best. I really do. I just, I don't need to know what's going on in your life, and you don't need to know what's going on in mine.
Even though I'm broadcasting it.
Even though I'm making this public for the internet.
Yeah. Making it not have a lifespan anymore. It'll exist forever now.
Yeah.
Until the world burns. Um but do we want to go back all the way back to um how we're not we don't see any hope in
Yeah, do you
getting
still have more to
anywhere?
talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I brought it up in the like like the past episode where I'm like it was the big three, then the
Yeah.
two, then the three. But so kind of running along that, there's a part of me that's like, okay, the way things are going now, and everybody always was like at bad times, and it's not even a bad time. We're just kind of relatively bad. Our economy's shit,
Yeah.
but inflation sucks. But it's you can judge that. It's like yeah, it's pretty bad. You can't afford anything. Uh, when I was little, guess what? It was astounding if groceries was above $200. Now my groceries cost above three, just for our house.
There's
That's
like
ridiculous.
and we buy
And
really only for us too.
And a lot of it's raw, like, not raw, but, like, raw stuff to make stuff with.
Yeah, it's just ingredients.
Yes.
We don't buy extra shit ever. It's only ever fucking ingredients.
So, along with I need to make more money, so I need to put myself out there. I need to be gone more so I can make more money because I've already looked around the local job market and there's nothing that fits my skill. I don't because I have skills, but I don't have any certificate for them.
Yeah,
So I can't do shit. And I would go into automotive, but guess what? I don't know modern vehicles.
right.
I know old vehicles. The modern when it comes to like computers and like 'cause I know
What year would you say your cutoff is for knowing what they technologically are.
2005?
Really?
Yeah,
That's fair.
and but after that, it's like it's there's sensors. It's just sensors. It's
Yep.
just sensors,
Sensors and
a thousand
computers.
sensors,
Yep.
and
And it's getting worse.
uh, whatever. Um, but it's because guess what? I know carburetors. There's not a carburetor on a vehicle now. There's
No.
not. There's not. Those don't exist anymore. And um,
When was the cutoff for carburetors? When did they stop putting them in cars?
when
I
the
have a phone in my hand.
it's I actually don't really know that because it's I know it
We're about
varies
to find out.
between make and model, but um, it's somewhere in the 2000s. No, it's
No,
somewhere in the
because my
90s. No,
94 Dodge didn't have
yeah,
a carburetor.
yeah. It's see that's what I mean. It varies. I'd say I'd say late 80s when fuel injection started. That's when the cutoff is. Dumb me.
1990 was the year that the carburetor was reaching the end of the line. Even humble Hyundai, still known for the cheap and crappy Excel, switched to fuel injection in mid 89 for their
Yeah,
1990
late
models.
80s, early 90s.
This is
Um,
uncomfy all of a sudden.
it's
Uh
yeah.
oh.
That's just like how my bike.
When was the last car built? Last car with a carburetor was a 1994 Isuzu pickup.
Oh, that's sad. But yeah, I know carburetors, and they stopped. They became obsolete before I even existed. Um, yeah. So that's where it kind of goes into what I was like. "Oh, maybe I could start something. Maybe I could build something because I see
Hmm.
my value is more than just being a just some face in in manufacturing. And it's like,
Huh.
I know old cars. So what if I really enjoy working on like body work. It's like a dance because it's technique. It's
Yeah.
all technique. You got to sand with your whole body. Just like
It's a movement.
it's a movement. It's the same thing what I do now. It's the same thing as sand.
Yeah.
It's just technique of how you do it. You
Yeah.
don't just do it. You don't just put you screw this into it. Working on body is a technique to get dents out, to fill, to mold with fiberglass, to
Yeah.
do all that. And it's like, what if I started something that I could either where scour
Yeah.
everywhere for any part I could work with off of any old car. And I take those parts and I refurbish them,
Hmm.
and then I film them. So there's also like a time lapse of me redoing these parts, and then I sell them.
Yeah.
And so whoever buys the part even gets a time lapse of what I all did to that
Yeah.
part. I thought that'd be a pretty cool idea. And but I have no place I'd be able to actually work on parts like that.
Yeah.
And to do that, um I'd need I need a more reliable truck than one that's not falling apart, and I can't use a '64 pickup because it's gonna kill it unless I replace the engine. Which guess what? I that's a couple grand to replace an engine unless you get a used one. Then it's just trading problems with other problems, and I've went through this in my head thousands of times. But that's one of my I got so excited because I finally figured it out what I wanted to do when I was 23. Some people when I was in school, they knew exactly what they wanted to do when they were 16, 17. I didn't figure out until I'm 23 and
I feel
I
like
said that when I was in school. They were like, "What do you want to do?" I don't know.
right.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what the hell the world is because I'm still in school.
I feel like most of the people that say that they knew what they wanted to do that early only knew because their family did something similar or they were pushed to make a decision. You and I fought against it. You and I were like, "I'm not fucking doing," and your sister did it too.
Yeah.
She was like, we all 3 of us were like, "Why would I make a decision when I don't fucking know?"
I think that's bullshit. How that works because they did there was this one thing that was like, okay, you have to apply for what was it a scholarship,
Mhm.
and I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah, I did the same
I
thing.
was like, why would I do that? Because I don't know at all what I want to do. Why would
Mhm.
I waste somebody's time
Right. And
potentially
why would I take that away from somebody else that could use it?
that knows what they want to do.
Yeah.
Why would I waste somebody's time or create noise
Mhm.
in a space that I don't belong yet?
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. But they're like, "Well, you're gonna fail it then." I'm like, "But why do I got to do this? Why
Yeah.
do I have to apply
Yeah,
for a scholarship?"
the
I know it's because it was in our senior year,
yeah.
and I'm like, I get that. But some people don't know what they wanna do,
And
and guess what? And I can't do anything about it. I don't know how long it takes until it's irrelevant.
yeah,
It might be now, but so I until
you
about
can still apply for scholarships.
no, for college to get additional education because
There's no limit to it. There are old ass people that take college
why
classes.
no, I'm getting to where I'm talking
Oh,
about
okay.
because a lot of people would say, like, see my GPA and go, "How did you even graduate?"
Yeah.
I passed everything,
Mhm.
but I did flawless until um junior year.
It's called burnout.
It's called burnout
Yep.
because, and it's funny. This is go get into this too. Uh, I was I looked at a video. This VHC tape. It was recorded on a camcorder.
Mhm.
Um, when I was like 5, and we got these maple trees, and these maple trees are pretty big now. They're very big, but I remember those being planted because I was like 5 or 6 or something like that, and this is very sad because I've realized, holy shit, look what happened to me. But all I wanted to do, because I couldn't help plant, I was only like 5 or 6. All I wanted to do was help. And all I wanted to do was fill up this watering can.
Yeah.
Can I water them? Can I help? I want to help. Now look at me.
Yeah.
I don't want to help anybody else.
Because
Maybe,
nobody's helping you.
well, no, hold on. Because it's squeezed out of you.
Yeah.
It's just get that
Yeah.
creativity and happiness, throw it away.
This is something else we could talk about too, is the school system on a
Throw it away.
completely different episode.
We're not going to teach you about how to what you need to know to own a home.
Yeah.
We're not going to teach you how to do taxes. You're going to have to figure that shit out yourself. Or if you guess what, as soon as you leave school and you don't want to do taxes and you get a job but you don't do your taxes, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Guess yeah, sorry. Oh, and it's like, uh, but we're going to get rid of home ec. We're going to get rid of the thing that actually teaches you how to live, like how to you know be an adult
Yeah.
when you get out of school because and I'm
Before we
getting
get
frustrated,
yeah,
flustered.
before we get too far away, do you remember my senior year? You had graduated because you were in the class before me. When I was looking at the University of Northwestern
I
Ohio
remember
and
that,
you were
yeah.
considering it too?
Was I?
Yeah,
I
we
don't
had
remember.
it was a very brief discussion, or at least I don't know if we
Wait, no,
talked.
for yeah, it's, what's it called?
The University of Northwestern Ohio,
Yeah,
they
but
have that really nice auto tech.
that's why.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get finish where I'm going. Um, I don't remember if it was a discussion we had or a thought I just had in my head and I never brought it up to you. But I think we had briefly considered going together and getting auto tech classes because they had the really nice
They have a very nice auto
they
tech
had they
program.
had different auto tech programs. They
Is it called
had
Uno?
Uno.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um
that's what I was trying to remember, sorry.
Um, they had, like, general auto tech. They had one for HVAC, one for, diesel. They had the classic restoration one. They had, like,
Yeah.
5 different
I
classes.
remember
I
there was a
remember
really good classic or restoration one
yeah,
in Cleveland too.
because I think you considered going for the classic restoration,
Yeah.
and I considered going for diesel because diesel is a really great industry to get into
Yeah, because
because it's
the
expensive.
the world runs on diesel.
You can make a fuck ton of money
The
doing
world
diesel.
runs on
So
diesel.
let me ask you this. Would do you f here, do you wish we would have went for the auto tech classes like we had discussed?
I wish I would have put more effort and I believed in myself more.
Mhm.
But I started to doubt myself a lot
Right.
um, the career center auto
Yeah.
tech, because that's when I realized, because I was like, "Oh, I know how to work on cars." But that's when I realized I'm terrible when it comes to technology,
Right,
when it
but that
comes to
doesn't
the
answer my question, babe.
hold on, okay, well, we're gonna this is the end of this
Yeah.
chunk, so it's gonna short pause, and then we're gonna resume, and resume. Um, so say your question again, so
So,
I know I'm
looking at where we are now,
yeah.
um, and we talk about our ambitions and not knowing what we wanted to do. Do you wish, looking at where we are right now mentally with our career choices, do you wish we would have gone to Uno together and taken our auto tech classes?
Yeah.
Is that something you would still consider?
No.
No? Why not?
I'm past. There's too much obligation now.
Like what?
We
Like,
ca we can't do that now.
yeah, but what are, like, name the obligations.
Our daughter.
Okay. And
It just that's something we yeah, I don't think
is there more than just our daughter holding you back?
it's no, like, 1, we can't afford housing, and, that's also the thing I was getting at, is, like, how long until the GPA of your what you graduated with doesn't matter anymore? Because eventually it doesn't matter anymore because
Right.
it's been so long. When is that? You know?
Fuck if I know.
It's like
At that
because
point, they don't look at your GPA.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
After a certain time, it doesn't matter because it's been
Yeah, so then that doesn't negatively work again. You say that like it negatively affects how they consider your application when it doesn't. It just doesn't matter.
like, I get
We're sitting the same way.
I get, the GPA and that gets you into places, but I don't like the idea. I really think I feel it's so broken. It's such a like, I get it, if you're smart, that GPA absolutely shows how smart you are.
Mhm.
Okay, this kid knows what the fuck they're doing. They know they got some they prioritize knowledge,
Yeah,
you know? Restoring things doesn't show up on my GPA. That doesn't show up.
right.
Things I already know don't show up on my GPA.
Well,
And
they don't look at a GPA to show what you know. They look at your GPA to show how dedicated you are to your study, how much you can focus, how hard you will work towards it. It doesn't matter what classes have your GPA.
that was the problem because I'll work very hard
Well, and
if it's
that's
with my
well,
hands.
and that's a lot of the issue too, was that the public school system does not account for, uh, like, outside it's hard to I'm trying to figure out
Extracurriculars do, but
but not
the
really.
main curriculum does not.
Right, so, like,
Because guess what? They got rid of shop class.
if I'm having a hard time articulating what I'm thinking.
I kind of know what you're
A
getting
lot
at.
of a lot of kids are not going to sit at a desk and study for 8 hours straight, regardless of if you give them a lunch or not. But if you get them out in the real world and actually show them how to do what they wanna do, they'll have a great grade, but
Yeah,
they have to be interested in it.
yeah.
And
That's
that's a
like
lot of the problem, is they're seeing our school systems decline, and it's because the kids don't give a shit anymore, because at this point, we know the school system's bullshit because it's an outdated system.
yeah,
It's a severely outdated system.
yeah,
The system was made to make us robots, to work in an assembly line and get shit out the door.
yeah, and
We
just
were made for capitalism,
and squeeze creativity out of you.
but we're in an
And
era now
yeah,
where that shit doesn't fly. We're in a different we're in a different time period now.
well,
Where
yeah.
we are no longer
There's a
we're
better
no longer in a production line just trying to get shit out the door.
there's
We are a generation of creators, you know?
I don't like saying that. I don't like
I
using
don't mean social media creators. I
no,
mean,
no, no, no.
like,
I'm talking about I don't like because one, I hate my generation, but I don't like saying our
get the
like my
fuck out of
gen.
here.
What?
Continue.
My generation sucks. I hate it. I've hated it
Our
since
entire generation says that.
yeah,
At this point, I'm convinced our entire generation is pick me's against our generation. We just want to be in a different generation.
yeah, yeah. Just like a yeah, like every I wish I was born in a different era. Where women shut it the fuck up and I could slap them.
God.
What do you
But
think? Is
like,
that that's what I'm saying?
no, 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 no. I was doing a funny.
Okay.
I was being funny. God, take a joke.
Oh,
Ugh. Um, but is it okay? Are you opposed to me bringing astrology into it for just a hot second?
I don't care.
So the here I'll have to the past few either the past one or past few generations were in the era of Capricorn. And Capricorn is hard work, dedication, focusing on your career life, which explains why the past few generations were like, you work hard and you only work and you work for everything you've got and there's no rest ever. But now we're in the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is about technology and knowledge and rebellion. So that it's a very generational difference.
Well, every generation has their big rebellion. Like there's always a rebellion against the norm.
No, but I think you missed what I'm saying. We
I
we went from we went from work hard for our country or whatever and only working hard all the time to um again, I'm having a hard time articulating what I'm
see
thinking.
because it's the same thing.
Because
The same thing.
I
What you're getting at that existed back in the '70s as smoking dope
yeah,
and listening to Grateful Dead.
but I
Fuck the
think
government. They can't
you're
send me
focusing
off.
too much on the
Yeah.
rebellion. I'm not focusing on the rebellion. You took out of that what I didn't want you to take out of it. You have selective hearing happening right now.
Yeah.
Um, but we went from hard work to and I guess you could call it floaty airhead, but it's where we're all trying to just soak up all this knowledge and we're trying to learn so we can become better humans. So, I think that's what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that in the first place.
But back to the auto tech thing. It's I didn't pursue that. I didn't continue to pursue that because I doubted my ability
Mhm.
because I was like, I know cars, but I didn't feel like I'd ever catch on to the tech part because I could, you know, I know I know how to take something apart and diagnose it,
Yeah.
but I don't know for shit how to diagnose it with a computer. How to go into it and I know how to use a reader. I know how to use a reader, and for it to tell me a code, you look up the code, or if you have a smart enough reader, it just tells you what it is or what sensor it is. But if you just got a cheap reader, you just plug it in, it tells you code, what's wrong, what the computer is picking up, and then okay, it's this. Then you go and you fix what it is, and then usually if it's a sensor that tips off, then you have to replace the sensor. It's usually how it works.
Right.
So same with my with my automatic braking system sensor. When worked on my driver's side knuckle of my truck, I took that sensor out. I was very careful with it. I didn't touch on anything, and then I put it back in. But just because I took it out, ever since then the ABS light's been on because that sensor needs to be replaced. But I just don't want to get back into that knuckle to replace that sensor. But it's you know like yeah. When I graduated and somehow everybody's like, "Oh, I don't," like, I didn't ever wanna mention my GPA.
Right.
It's like, "How the hell did you graduate?"
Honestly, I never thought about my GPA until I got, like, a
"Do you
certificate and it was like, "You've got a 3.0 GPA." I'm like, "I fucking do?
you did?"
I guess." I got a certificate from it right
And
before I
see, that's
graduated.
what I mean.
I
You
never even looked at my GPA because I was like, "I don't give a shit," because I didn't do homework, so I thought my GPA was absolute ass.
we had to both we I remember we both, like, I don't know, like, at least our senior year, we both had the same about the same grades.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I only had 3 classes because for the last year, I was going to the career
You
center,
know what?
and
I bet you I took a lot of classes online because of doing auto tech at Career Center, and I tested out of a lot of stuff on the online thing, so I bet you that bumped me
that's what
up.
I did too. I did all
But
my
I bet
class
you that's what bumped up my
I did
GPA.
all my classes, and I did it all before the the timeline, before the date that
Yeah.
you're supposed to get all your classes done. I did all those, but it's just like I floated around like the CB, the C, like the C, yeah, the C. Nah, I floated around like the C and D range, but usually that would get you a higher GPA than 1.5. Apparently 1.5, you were supposed to fail everything. I didn't fail any of my classes. I was
Yeah,
never held back. I never failed a class.
right,
So how the hell did I get that? I know there's a way, there's a reason why
right.
somewhere, but it was like I did my work. I had in English, I had 110% in that class.
Hmm,
I was above in that class.
yeah,
That didn't fucking show. I was great at writing. I was fantastic at writing.
yeah. I loved
Maybe
writing.
that was a thing. Maybe that's my skill. I just don't know. I just
Right,
didn't know. What if I'm really good at writing? Who knows? And that's why I always when I'm like anytime I'm writing, I'm using really I I'm very extensive with my vocabulary when I write. And it's like, you know, maybe that was it. And that's why it showed that that was the only class that I excelled in. I got really, really far ahead in. But I didn't even think about going anywhere after I
yeah,
graduated. Know why? Because my GPA.
yeah.
Nobody would accept me. I knew nothing would accept me unless it was, the last resort college or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck their slang term was for the community, like the community college.
Last resort college,
Yeah, and
which is stupid. Community college is great. Like, if that's in your
and
price
it
range and it offers the classes that you're looking for, why fucking not?
and it's like but then I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do,
Right.
and then for a moment I was like, maybe astronomy because I'm obsessed
Yeah,
with space. I'm obsessed with
yeah.
space. Like maybe in a different life, I actually read more, and I pursued that because I've been always obsessed with space,
Mhm.
and but you know maybe I can try to pass that interest on to my kids. I wouldn't force them, but
I
the
found
one
a
I'd introduce the wonder of space to my
I found a
kids.
book about the planets for Jay.
Yeah,
It's on my Amazon list.
as soon as they know how to as soon as our kids know how to comprehend space, I'm gonna take them out clear night. Look,
Make our kids like my cousin.
look. Yeah, I know exactly.
He my uncle's got some smart kids.
I see. I don't understand when you don't have a interest in space. So it's like, oh, nerds care about space. You're surrounded by it. You're
Dude,
on a
space
floating
is
rock.
awesome.
You're on a floating rock in this nothingness.
Yeah,
That's also got a bunch of floating gases and solids,
yeah.
and
It's
it's
I view it as it's nothingness, but it's also everything at the same time.
right. It's the same way that I look at a plain like a just barren desert,
Mhm.
and it's fucking beautiful to me.
Yeah.
It's all what my dream. No, okay, so I say dreams a lot. You know what my the thing I always
Your
just
passion?
no. I always and I know I
No.
talked about this with you for a moment, and it's kind of still there, but it's I wanted to
Oh,
drive out.
yeah,
I wanted to drive across the country, and I wanted my destination was the Bonneville Salt Flats.
yeah.
I wanted to go to the Salt Flats
I remember
where
you telling me about that when we first
flat.
started dating,
It's just it's just flat.
and I was so supportive of you because I
It's
was like, "That sounds awesome. Yeah, we can do that." Like, I was 100% ready to, like, be by your side doing that with you.
it's
And
but
then recently your sister told me a story, and I was like, "Oh, fuck that bitch. If I didn't hate her more, I hate her now."
oh
Remember that story?
I was about to
Go ahead. I'll
talk.
let you
So a person before you, which
Mhm.
I wasn't even with. I that was
You
confusing.
weren't dating, but
That was confusing. I don't know what the hell that was. Um,
it was a
it,
almost hookup.
yeah, I don't know what that was. I was confused and um, but luckily nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then I found out later I kind of dodged a bullet. But well, because I found out later she got pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I'm not. If this
Now
somehow,
you're stuck with me
well,
instead of her.
if this somehow gets to her, like she never did anything shitty to me. I mean, well, the one thing she did was she shat right on that because she
Yeah.
didn't know me enough. She didn't know how passionate I was about that
But
thing.
still, if you don't know a person,
Because
you don't shit on their stuff.
the only vehicle I had was my '64 pickup.
Yeah.
So I drove that everywhere, you know? And I stuck out from everybody because I drove that fucking truck everywhere.
Mhm.
And everybody knew that's that guy. Not that I'm not driving around a fucking 2005 Ford Taurus. I'd rather drive that thing.
Yeah.
That's got that the cab is sinking into the frames coming up through the floor because the bottom of the cab's rotted up. But guess what? I got another cab sitting in the barn that can be completely, I can be cut up and put into that cab, or I just replace it with that cab that's sitting in the barn. It just needs a little bit of. It's got a little bit of a like a rust, like a hole on the passenger. Like where the windshield is. It's just some rust where that window seats into
Yeah,
the cab, like the seal seats. That just needs to be patched up. That's it. That's the only rust hole. On the one of the cab that's on now, the whole top corner of the cab's rotted out. The floor's rotted out.
yeah,
And it's like, I'm just gonna replace it with the other cab because the whole
right.
thing needs to be painted anyway. But I didn't care. And like I I always say your first car, because you shouldn't have a fucking no. I don't care
You're
how.
going off track with what you were talking about.
I know, but you shouldn't have a really nice car or something that's really ugh, for your first car.
The way your mouth just moved,
I
I'm
know.
so sorry. You had your teeth just barely showing, and your tongue was bobbing around in your mouth, and I was like, "What's happening?"
Staring at my tongue. Um, but it's like something that's just somebody that is an adult, that's a working adult, would look at that car, go, "Ooh,
Yeah,
oh, that's a nice
and then
car."
a child steps out of it.
And then like a 19-year-old steps
Yeah,
out of it
a
with her hat,
child.
with a flat bill fucking hat, and their shorts down to their
They got
knees.
Sharpie written all over it.
Oh, that pisses me off so
Sorry.
much. I'm just like, ugh, God,
God, that scared
almost
me.
thought it was the guy that starts with a G.
That, like, turned my stomach. That sound I didn't know what that was, and it scared me. That picked it up in the microphones. I heard it in the
That
headset.
was called a twin cylinder.
Okay, but going back to what you were talking about.
But yeah, it's like because where we grew up, where we went to school, it's
Yeah,
rural town. So the big, you know, I don't want to. I'm not gonna shit on 'em in any way.
yeah,
I just I just since I was like 14, I looked down upon it.
yeah.
I didn't. I was like, it's just it's everybody does that. Do something else. But
What?
it's gets a big truck and just
Oh,
diesel jacks it up. Everybody does it. It's like,
hey, go back to what you were
what was
talking
I talking
about.
about?
Uh, the girl
Sorry.
shitting on your dreams.
Well, because I didn't have a dream. I just my big thing was I
A
wanted to
vision.
yeah, whatever. I don't know what to call it. Roll your eyes at me. Oh, he doesn't know what
Anyways,
to call it.
it was a
Huh?
dream. It was something you wanted to do. That's a dream.
I always thought dream was like the thing you imagine doing for your life. You the passionate thing that you wanted your life to be. That's your dream.
I guess.
And but that I yeah, vision. That
A
yeah,
vision.
that works. Okay. So you drank milk earlier, didn't you?
No, we ate chili, asshole.
Stinky.
Uh-oh,
No.
stinky.
But so that girl, I eventually communicated that because we would just talk, we'd hang out.
Yeah.
I was like, that truck, because it's my first vehicle, and you know, my first car is older than my dad,
Mhm.
and he was born in '67, and
Mhm.
it's like it's an old vehicle. That's my first vehicle, and I'm not losing it. I'm not selling it. I'm not getting rid of it.
Yeah.
It's staying with me,
It's your prized
and
possession.
and um because in I eventually communicated to her. I wanted to fix that up so I can. It doesn't. There's no leaking. There's no nothing. It can. It doesn't. It's not. I wanted to eventually change the transmission so it doesn't only have four because it's a 4 speed. So you can't really
Yeah.
even go six. You can't go with the speed of the traffic with it. It's too slow. So you hold up traffic with it.
Right.
And I would at least like for it to just go with traffic.
Yeah.
I want it to get it to that comfortable point. Then I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care that it takes off a lot. It, compared to a 2023 vehicle, it takes off. Of course, it takes off. It's a 64.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
But it's and people always were like, you gotta put a subwoofer in it. There's a gas tank behind me. I'm not gonna put a fucking subwoofer in it. Put a subwoofer up your ass. Fuck off. And like, oh, but I eventually communicated with her that
You said that 4 times now.
I was gonna get this all redone, and I was gonna repaint it. I had like 4 colors. I was still debating on what color I think I'm more set on what color it's gonna be, but just classic two-tone white and blue.
Yeah.
But, but I wanna take that and drive it across the country to the west
To Utah.
and to Utah, into the Salt Flats.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it to Salt Flats and just, "Here it is,
Yeah.
and here am I. I did it." And she was
Here am
like,
I. Here I am.
"Let me revel in this."
Sorry, continue. I'm so
And,
sorry.
You're a fucking grammar Nazi.
Fucking stupid fucking lady.
Live with a Nazi."
We're both German here. I've got blonde hair and blue eyes. You've got brown hair and brown eyes. You better watch out, buddy. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I guess she's a little more German than me.
I
But
stupid?
huh?
Never mind, continue.
But she, sorry, just Third Reich jokes here. But I told her that, and she goes, "That's stupid."
Oh, when your sister told me she said that, I got so
And if
pissed.
somehow this gets to you, that fucking hurt. You didn't do anything to me. I was confused, but and I was too desperate for companionship that I was looking at it. I was looking for it in somebody that wasn't looking for it at all.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I didn't I wasn't your classic high school, jock guy, and
Testosterone
just
riddled
I
man.
wanna just have a body count. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be with somebody.
Right.
I wanted to be somebody that wanted to be with me.
Yeah.
Fuck all else. And, that's not what that was. I thought that's what that was, but it was not.
Yeah.
And good thing nothing happened. But yeah, I knew nothing would happen once it was like, that's stupid. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, fuck you then.
Yeah, I was literally like, you know what's funny? She lived in the house that Mary used to live in when she was,
Yeah.
but
I remember her and I actually got into an argument in Facebook Messenger because I really liked that house and she had moved into it right after we had moved out of it and we got into a huge argument. Not about that, but like that was a part of the argument because I just did not like her. Sh- She
yeah.
was friends with one of my friends and I just was like,
Do you think I'll at some point I'll eventually be able to still do that?
yeah,
Because what would that take, a week?
yeah,
After that truck's done and it's 100% reliable?
let's see. How long does it take to drive to
But you
Utah?
you gotta compensate. That's never going on the highway.
Right.
You're taking side roads all the way to Utah.
Yeah.
And I have to completely either rebuild that engine or replace it, and also make it be able to cool itself very easily, because guess what you see a lot of in the desert?
Are the salt flats in Utah or yeah, the Bonneville salt
Yeah,
flats?
they're in
There's
Utah.
also ones in New Mexico.
Okay,
They both came up.
yeah. Did you just type in salt flats? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Bonneville salt flats. Um, because you know what happens at the Bonneville salt or at the salt flats when it rains occasionally? It's just a giant mirror. It's just a giant mirror, and it's something so amazing to see. And I don't like everybody was like, "The desert just
Road
has nothing in it." It's
captions.
like, that's so much better than having just buildings everywhere. It's so much better.
Avoid highways.
And just to be surrounded, also when you grow up and you never leave a place that's just flat. It's just there's no hills, there's no nothing. The first mountains or relative hills I saw were in like in southern Kentucky.
Okay, if you are to drive from where we are now to the Bonneville salt flats, avoiding highways and tolls, it takes 1 day and 11 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you are to walk,
Oh,
however, it's 23 days. And if you are to ride a bike, it's 7 days.
7 days.
7 days to ride a bike.
That actually doesn't sound bad.
I'm like,
I'm like,
"What are you guys doing for your honeymoon?" "We're
like
riding our
that
bikes to
doesn't
Utah."
it doesn't sound impossible. Walking, holy fuck!
You
But
gotta Forrest Gump this
riding,
bitch.
it's like people used to take that trek on horse and carriage,
Yeah,
and it's like
good for them.
now we got roads, but like it's like with a bike, oh,
You would have to have a good ass
you just
for
have to
comfort.
you'd have to be ready. Your body would have to be ready for that shit.
I'm not ready for a normal bike
So
ride.
you said you're talking about the walking one. I was like, I tried to think of a line
Let's
from
go for a
Forrest
nice hike. Oh, where are you going? Utah. How long are you gonna be gone? 23 days and then 23 more days.
because
I would like
we're gonna walk all the way
3
there and then
Whoppers,
immediately turn around.
and then I would like 3 more Whoppers. You know what I'm talking about?
You know what's really annoying?
Hmm.
It's like a thing that's like some people have the freedom if they wanted to do that they could.
Mhm.
That is even if my body was ready to do that and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it.
You
Let's
know what?
do it." And
You know what sounds fun, but I know we would never be actually able to do it, and I wonder how people do it, is living in a van and going around the country.
because they can work remotely.
Oh, that makes
They don't
sense.
need to be anywhere to work.
Right.
They just need internet.
Well, and some people I think somebody once told me that some people do pick up, like, temporary jobs for a few weeks to get enough money, and then they move again, and
Yeah.
they just keep doing that. But I mean, it sounds fun because you get to, like, travel and explore, but it also sounds stressful.
Yeah, because you're relying on that vehicle.
Right.
So if that vehicle's not tip-top shape 100% of the time, if that engine is not taken care of,
Yep.
that is if that thing breaks down, you're
You're shit out
stuck.
of luck.
You are stuck there.
Yep.
And because that's why if you work like a freelance job or you do contracts for people in a sense, photography, if you just take like like nature photography,
Yeah.
that's one of them. If you work for tech, if you just need internet access
Yeah.
and you can work from a computer, that's a reason. That's where how a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sounds I'd love to just take a big van or like a small box truck,
Yeah.
just completely rip everything out of it.
Renovate a school bus.
I've seen that,
I
and I
watched
remember
people on TikTok do
me and
that.
my sister almost got a 1958 school
I
bus
remember that.
because it was for sale for 2,500 bucks
Wow.
and it was already redone.
Yeah.
It had bunk beds in it. It had a rear like almost like a porch, not whatever the hell it's called. It's just like a thing that sticks out the back, and there was
Mhm.
a ladder, and then it had a whole like platform on the whole that ran across
Yeah.
the whole top of it. You could take the thing across the country if you wanted
Yeah.
to, and it's like it's like it was 2,500 bucks for a reason. So it needed some work.
You
But
needed some TLC.
well, but the hard part was already done.
Yeah.
If it needed a new engine, you find another engine and another bus that's
Yeah.
sitting in some scrapyard somewhere.
Right.
I guarantee you, it might suck to find it because it might be kind of, but I guarantee you there's one there because
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's also a place that all the buses go to be decommissioned.
Mhm.
There they go. There's your parts.
Yeah.
There's your engine. When we are heading to the dealership, um,
Mhm.
there's a place. I'm not gonna say where, but there's a place. I passed. I don't even know if vocalized it to you, but there's a place that we passed right on our left. It's a big place. It's just all engines. All they do is
No, I don't
engines.
you
Just
didn't say anything.
because all I saw. I was like, I just saw a bunch of pallets with tarps over them. I was like, what is that? So then we passed it again. I was like, that's an engine
Hmm.
place. They just rebuild and also build
Yeah.
engines. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, that made me consider if I had just enough money, I could send the engine in my old truck because that's the biggest thing that needs to be done
Yeah.
besides the body is that engine
Right.
because that's why I haven't ran it for a while. It's on its last legs. It's
Yeah.
the head block's cracked, so it's always leaked coolant into the cylinders because you can see the buildup on the spark plugs.
Yeah.
But like, and so either that engine needs to be rebuilt and it needs a new head
Mhm.
block or a new engine.
Yeah.
And you know, that's
Yeah. We should probably wrap up. We gotta go get our kid.
yeah. Well, we can go for a little bit more.
How
No,
much longer?
I still got some more ideas.
We can make them other episodes.
No, I'm just still on this topic.
We have to go get our kid. I would like to have her before 9
Okay. Because yeah, yeah,
because she needs a bath.
that's right. She does.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, hold on.
We can make our goodbye different.
I guess this last part's just our final
Yeah,
remarks.
our outro.
Yeah, because it's 8:30, and we've done later, and that's why I was like, "Ah, maybe we could just go finish off this topic," but yeah, it'd be better to get her now than
Yeah,
because we've gotten her too late, and I don't wanna do that again, and
I
because
miss
she doesn't
her.
have fun, and we don't have fun because it's just she's too tired.
Well, then you have to try to keep her awake on the car ride back, which is not fun either.
Right, and so it'd just be better to go get her now,
Yeah.
and maybe who
Well,
knows?
and you
Maybe
know what?
after she falls asleep, we can come back and finish off, it doesn't matter.
No, because you told me that we could play Toy Story today, and we didn't. So, guess what we're doing after we get her to fall asleep? You're
Alright,
playing Toy Story with me.
okay, alright. I yield, I yield. Is it yield?
Yeah.
Okay. When I was little, I always thought it was like I thought they were saying yeed. I
Yee!
yeed. Yeed. I was like, "Why are they saying yeed?" But, yeah, so this one, we had of energy finally, and, but also a lot of frustration came out, and
Well,
I
that's why
I
we
never
called
feel
it Hell's
satisfied
Popsicle.
with any of the topics we talked about, so they're gonna come up again, and they're gonna come up
Yeah.
again, and they're gonna come up again because this is things that bother me, and, I feel like I can talk about them here. I can talk about
Mhm.
them as many times as I want to.
Yeah. It's your space.
It's my space. It's my podcast. And if you want to listen, listen up. But yeah, so this is the end of this one. It's we got a long one this time, and
Mhm.
I feel like I'll enjoy actually re-listening to this one.
Yes. We still have to find the clip from the last one.
Yeah, and now we got another one, and I feel like
Yeah.
we got a couple funny spots in here too.
We'll re-listen to the last one on our way to get Jay,
Okay,
and
yeah,
we'll find one
yeah, we like to
because
re-listen to her.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
stay more consistent with the social media because I do the social media Instagram stuff,
yeah.
and I hate falling behind on it. But sometimes I'm like, okay, well, what do we do want to do as a clip? And we're like, I don't know.
Oh, also, this one I gotta mention because we're working on it right now, but very soon it's going to be available on Apple Podcasts or Apple Music.
iTunes, Apple Music.
Apple Music.
Yeah.
'Cause what it shows up for me is Apple Podcasts, but I'm
Oh,
assuming it's gonna go into Apple Music.
yeah.
It's gonna
I
be bit
actually think they're different.
are
I
they?
think there's Apple
Because
Music and there's Apple Podcasts.
'cause
There's so many different platforms these days. Who fucking knows?
I used to be on iOS, I'm not, but,
Well, I
but
will be slowly getting back onto iOS, I guess,
yeah.
because I have to have 2 phones now.
Well, yeah.
One works and one doesn't. That's a story for a different time.
It's an
I'm
old
still pissed
phone,
about it.
other old phones, whatever, but it's gonna be available, and I'm also going to, I'm gonna be changing the email for, what,
First
any
the
for
submissions and stuff.
submissions. It's gonna be an email only submissions, and, I'm gonna put it in the
You mean
link
a
or
sub
in the descriptions of our future episodes. So I'm gonna be changing that so it's not so lengthy because I don't personally like how it's, Hell's Popsicle Podcast. It's just too much. I wanna
you could even just make it hellspopsicle@gmail.com and not put the podcast.
that one already exists.
Are you fucking shitting my dick right now?
Not not from somebody else. I already have that one already assigned to something else.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, I've been trying to be very organized with these emails. But I'll be making another one that's going to be for only submissions for anybody that's got questions.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
for anything, for literally anything. We're also young parents too. So if you got a question that you also are a young parent, or you and who you're with are thinking about becoming parents, and you got questions for if I know there's not a lot of people listening to us right now, but
yeah.
if there's in the future, if all of a sudden people start listening to this one, who knows? But it's if you have any questions at all revolving about hobbies, what you're interested in, what you hear us talk about, okay, here like if we bring up parenting, anything, ask us.
Right. We're young and we might not know a lot, but I mean, we'll give it our best shot.
I feel like we got good thoughts though.
Yeah.
We got good grounding
Yeah.
and
Morals?
morals, and we can kind of conjure up a good answer to a
Yeah.
problem or a situation.
Right.
I feel like we have that capability.
Right.
And we got the
Ouch.
male and female perspective, so there you go. That's another thing. So this is an end of this, and yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Got some anger out. Yeah. Got some funny, made some funnies,
Made some
made
funnies.
some stinkies, and I didn't make any stinkies.
I
Somebody
did.
else did.
It was me.
Oh, I thought it was somebody else.
It was the ghost.
The Luke room is now the stink room, and then that'll be it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Boy.